Hi guys, welcome to the first episode of Simple Retro Reviews. I'm going to apologise in advance for the terrible sound quality and the terrible video quality that you see now. I'm doing this as a bit of a spur of the moment thing, so I'm a little unprepared, obviously with the microphone and camera being terrible and stuff. Anyway, today I'm making a list of my personal favourite Nintendo DS 2D platforming games. Some of you might not like some of the games that are included. Some of you, would obviously think that there's games I've left out of the list that should be there. So post in the comments, what you think I've done wrong. And as I said, this is my first episode, so go easy on me and try to enjoy what I got to say. Thanks. Yes. Super Princess Peach was released in Japan in October 2005, in the USA in February 2006, and Europe in March 2006. Super Princess Peach is a spin-off of the Mario games in which you take control of Peach instead of Mario. Instead of Bowser kidnapping Peach, he thought, screw it, I'll just kidnap Mario and Luigi instead. The plot is as follows. There is some island called Vibe Island which is supposed to hold magical powers. So Bowser builds a summer villa there, and one of his minions finds the Vibe Scepter, which is able to change the emotions of people. Mario and company get kidnapped, and Peach receives a talking parasol called Perry off Toadsworth, which has magical powers, and Peach heads off through 8 worlds to find Mario and co. The game was criticised for its easy gameplay, and they were right to do so as the game is very easy for the most part. But I still found it to be fun, and I liked that they decided to try something different with this game. The magical powers Peach can use are pretty fun to play around with, and having to collect all the toads throughout the levels to be able to fight the final boss give you some incentive to look around a little more. It's not the best spin-off of a Mario game, but it's certainly worth a go, and I would recommend it to 2D platform fans. Sonic Classic Collection was released in March 2010. We all know Sonic, and most of us love the classic 2D platforming games in which he starred. That's why I couldn't leave this game off the list. It features the original Sonic, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and of course Sonic and Knuckles. If you don't know, Sonic is a high-speed 2D platforming game in which you take control of a super fast blue hedgehog. You speed your way through worlds collecting rings, sometimes unlocking bonus stages and fighting Dr. Robotnik / Dr. Eggman at the end of every world. The DS version received little criticism because these games are simple ports of the Mega Drive / Genesis games, so the resolution is a little iffy or squished if you like. Also, there is no multiplayer. Apart from that, the game is as fun as ever and a must own for 2D and platform fans. The Simpsons Game, released November 2007. We all know The Simpsons, and we all love The Simpsons. Or at least you should. This is a pretty good 2D platformer, featuring all your favourite characters from the show. The dialogue is hilarious, and the level designs are pretty good for the most part. Each family member has a unique ability to use, and the actual voice actors from the show are the ones speaking in the game. So you feel part of the Simpsons universe while playing. The game parodies many other video games and TV shows etc, and is always on point with its humour. The game is a little short but thoroughly enjoyable and worth checking out if you like 2D platformers.
Don't leave me down here! There might be spiders!
Henry Hatsworth, released March 2009. Henry Hatsworth is a 2D platformer / puzzle game in which you take on the role of British adventurer Henry Hatsworth. He is on a quest to find the golden suit which allows him to control the puzzle realm. The The top screen has you doing the usual 2D type stuff, running, jumping and killing enemies, while the bottom screen is like a Bejeweled type puzzle game. You have to match the colours to either destroy enemies or gain health, etc, etc. Enemies you kill in the 2D screen get sent down into the puzzle game, and if you don't solve the puzzle fast enough, the enemy comes back into the 2D world. Although this is fun, it also gets annoying after a while. The game is still a lot of fun though, and I enjoy the humour and the sound effects when the characters speak are epic. Gianni Sisters, released in Europe April 2009 and in the USA February 2011. Gianni Sisters, in my opinion, a vastly overlooked platform game. It is the spiritual sequel to the Great Gianni Sisters, which was released for the Commodore 64 in 1987. The plot is pretty thin, as we expect from a platform game. Basically, Gianna has a box full of treasure, she falls asleep admiring it. She wakes up and the treasure's been sucked into a black hole. She follows it into the black hole and she's transported into a magical land full of blue crystals which she has to collect. She can attain like different power-ups throughout the game, such as punk mode and stuff like that, which makes her shoot fireballs just like Mario. The game is a lot of fun, and I think it's overlooked because it's so similar to Mario. To be fair, it is blatantly similar to Mario, but it's still a lot of fun, and I think you should check it out. It really is a lot more fun than you'd expect. Super Scribblenauts, released in the US and Europe October 2010 and in Japan October 2011. Super Scribblenauts is the sequel to Scribblenauts, and in my opinion a much better game. It is a side-scrolling 2D platform puzzle game in which you have to use almost any item you think of to progress through the level. For instance, if there was a tree in your way, you could type in the word saw and a saw would spawn, which you could use to cut down the tree. The amount of items in this game is truly staggering, and I found the game to be a lot of fun and well worth playing. If you can't think why this game would be fun, just watch this video. Need I say any more? You're a good little monkey. You're a good little monkey. Shh, shh, shh. Yoshis Island ES, released in the US November 2006, in Europe December 2006, and in Japan March 2007. Yoshi's Island is sort of a remake of the Super Nintendo game Yoshi's Island, and it brings back fond memories for me. This is one of my favourite platform games when I was a kid. Well, in fact, it was one of my favourite games all in all. For those who haven't played it, I suggest that you pick up the ROM of the original Yoshi's Island for the Super Nintendo. For those who don't know, Yoshi's Island is a 2D platformer in which you take control of the dinosaur type thing named Yoshi. You have to carry a baby Mario on your back and get to the end of the levels. Your powers include swallowing enemies and pooping them out of the eggs, which can be used as a weapon or to hit blocks in the levels, some of them unreachable with standard jumping. If Yoshi gets hit by an enemy, Mario falls off his back and flies up into the air in a bubble, crying like a sissy. You have a limited time to get Mario back to Yoshi by hitting the bubble Mario is trapped in. If the time runs out, some enemies come and fly Mario away. Each world has some cool bosses to fight. The level designs for the most part are great, and the difficulty is enough to make you want to keep playing. The new features added for the DS include new babies for Yoshi to carry instead of just Mario, and the babies have different abilities. I won't spoil too much for you, but I suggest to give this game a go as it really is fantastic. I still prefer the SNES version for some reason, but this is well worth playing also. Kirby Superstar Ultra. Release September 2008 in the USA, November everywhere else. Kirby Superstar Ultra is a remake of one of my absolute favourite Super Nintendo games, Kirby Superstar. The game is a 2D platformer in which you play a pink ball of air named Kirby who has the ability to fly in the air and to suck in enemies and swallow them to gain their power. You can also release them from captivity and they will then aid Kirby in combat. I can't stress how much fun I had with this game as a kid. It may be an easy game, but it's not one of them games that gets ruined by its easy difficulty. It's just the perfect pick up and play game. The graphics have been updated for the DS and look great. Some new features they added were 3D cutscenes for the levels, more bosses, and some games to suit the DS more. They modified old games to make new games such as Revenge of the King, which is a modified version of the original Spring Breeze, with new level layouts and enemy designs. I could go on all day about this game and its huge amount of content, but I suggest that you just find a copy and play it. If you like 2D platform games, it's not hard to like this game. Mega Man Zero Collection, released June 2010. Mega Man Zero Collection is a collection of 4 Mega Man Zero games. The games are pretty much unchanged, but they did add certain new features such as an art gallery and the ability to change the control layout. I've always been a huge fan of the Mega Man series ever since I was a kid. One of the first games I remember playing was Mega Man 2 on the NES, and I absolutely loved it, and I still do. And that's rare for me because I do tend to get bored of games after a while. The first Mega Man Zero pissed me off a little bit by being a bit linear and taking away the ability to choose which stage to choose next. But thankfully that was fixed for the later entries. If you somehow don't know, Mega Man is a 2D platforming run and gun game where you usually choose a stage, fight your way through it, and at the end of the level you fight the boss, which at times is very tough. Thankfully though, you will be given a power-up after defeating the bosses, and that power-up is usually effective while fighting certain other bosses. There's not much I can say about this collection. I love it a lot and recommend it to all Mega Man fans and even 2D platforming fans. I don't love this game like I love Mega Man X, but it's certainly good. New Super Mario Bros. New Super Mario Bros. Is a great game and had to be number 1 on this list simply because of just how good it is. The story is pretty much the same as all other Mario games, which is to be expected, and the gameplay is essentially the same too. And for a game that barely changed its gameplay in nearly 30 years, that's quite an achievement. Most of the levels are really fun, the difficulty is well balanced, and the new features Nintendo introduced are fantastic. This is the first 2D Mario game that uses the wall jump feature, which adds a bit of depth to the platforming, and they added a good few number of power-ups such as the blue Koopa shell, which lets Mario roll around in a shell, the mini mushroom, which makes Mario smaller, allowing you to get to different areas of the level, and also makes Mario jump further, and my personal favourite, the mega mushroom, which makes Mario grow into a gigantic Hulk Mario, smashing almost everything in his path. The game has a lot of levels and a lot of content, hidden things to find, and I highly recommend you play this game.
So nice.